Hello everyone. Yes, I know. You're struggling to kite the new hunter. And that is precisely why I made this video. I too had difficulties kiting the hunter. I've seen some people saying that Night Watch is OP, but to be honest, kiting him is easier than you think, and you will see that in this video. Sure, he is very strong in some aspects, but that goes with every character. Okay, so the first thing we'll be talking about is this hunter's mechanics. And the first one I'll be explaining is his skill, Tempest, which not only pulls survivors toward him, but also grants him the ability to use speed boosts. How? Well, take a look at these 3 bars. You can probably guess what they are. Whenever he uses his Tempest ability, he gains 1 bar, and using a speed boost costs him 1 bar. And once he reaches 1000 presents, he unlocks the ability to instantly pull survivors towards him and dash to quickly catch up to survivors in a chase. Anyway, now that we are done with the mechanics, let's talk about this hunter's weaknesses. Some of you may already know this, but his biggest weakness is walls. Tall walls, in fact. Because he cannot pull or slow down survivors when there is a tall obstacle between him and the survivor. Which is exactly why tight kiting is the best way to kite Night Watch. However, some survivors try to outrun Night Watch, not realizing that they're putting themselves in a vulnerable position by running out in the open, giving the hunter an easier time to catch them. The hunter is also very map dependent. Let me show you the maps that Night Watch struggles most with. Now, let's think. What do all these maps have in common? The answer is, they have many kiting areas with tall walls. So they are not the best maps for Night Watch. These maps are great for kiting against Night Watch because tall walls are easily accessible whenever Night Watch tries to pull you towards them. Okay. So now you know which maps are Night Watch's weaknesses. But now let's move on to the next topic. So there are survivors that can hard counter Night Watch, and I'd like to know your opinion. Which survivors do you think are the best when going against a Night Watch? If you don't know, I'll tell you. The survivors that hard counter Night Watch are stunners. Now, why stunners? When you stun Night Watch while he is using Tempest, it does not reset its cooldown. The hunter has to wait a few seconds until he is able to use it again. Not only that, you also deny him the opportunity to gain speed boosts, and the only way he can gain speed boosts is by using Tempest. So your best choices would be Enchantress, Prospector, or Antiquarian, as well as survivors with pushback abilities. Just don't cancel the hunter's hit recovery animation. Another survivor that best counters Night Watch is one that excels in tight kiting. And that survivor is Female Dancer. Her music boxes can really help her or her teammates when kiting a Night Watch, and the hunter will struggle to get a hit on a survivor unless they break her music boxes. And then we have survivors who are good at creating distance, like Mercenary, Cowboy, Forward. and other survivors that are good at transitional kiting. But for characters like Mercenary or Forward, I wouldn't recommend they use up their items to get away from Night Watch, because most hunters that do chase them at the beginning are just trying to get them to waste their items before switching targets. But transitional kiting is not the best against a Night Watch, especially when the hunter already has 1000 presents. And even if you're playing a survivor that counters Night Watch, you can still fail if you don't know the basics of kiting the hunter. And that's why I'll be teaching you how to kite a Night Watch. And as I've said, tight kiting is the best way to kite a Night Watch. However, there are some mistakes that survivors do when tight kiting a Night Watch. The first thing is running a bit too far from the pallet. Okay, I will explain, but let's first talk about this little girl's kite. Here, we see that she would have been hit if it hadn't been for Suzanne. Now, take a look at this kiting area. And this kiting area is basically one straight wall. Some Night Watch players would go back and forth in this type of area while using Tempest to pull the kiting survivor towards them. And this little girl's mistake was running past the pallet and into Night Watch's wind current. In that situation, the best thing to do would be to stay near the pallet. Because against a Night Watch, the best way to defend yourself is to get behind an obstacle and stay near a pallet, especially when the hunter goes around and walks through the pallet. Windows can also be good against a Night Watch, but also bad since you could get terror shock if they have a speed boost ready, and you vault at the wrong time. So just keep looping the hunter around pallets and watch out for the hunter's next moves. Another mistake that survivors do when kiting a Night Watch is dropping pallets too early. Night Watch has a fast attack speed. Some Night Watch players tend to swing at pallets because they expect survivors to drop pallets at close range. Night Watch can also just jump over the pallet and get a hit on you if there is not much distance between you and the hunter. So if you know the hunter swings at pallets, don't drop the pallet if you know you will just get hit while dropping it. Now, another mistake survivors do is pallet camping. Yes, I know, I said stay near pallets, but here's the thing. When the hunter knows you're camping that pallet, they can just switch wind forms and dash through the pallet. And before you can react, they've already dashed through the pallet and hit you. If there is an obstacle behind the pallet you're camping, the hunter can just intentionally collide with that obstacle to cancel their dash, so they can immediately land a hit. And how do you know when Night Watch's charges? Pay attention to the lantern on his weapon. It has some effects when he has charges and when he's in a different form. Last one. Stop running back towards the hunter while they're using Tempest. This is not going to work in your favor, honestly. The hunter can just cancel their skill and hit you. And finally, I'll be teaching you how to rescue against Night Watch. Rescuing against a Night Watch can either be easy or really difficult, depending on how the hunter camps your chaired teammate. It also depends on the chair and the character you're using when you're going for a rescue. Honestly, yes, it's much easier to rescue against a Night Watch if you're playing a rescuer. When you're rescuing against a Night Watch, you need to come to the chair early. The later you come to the chair, the higher the risk of getting terror shocked or rescuing after half, because the hunter will want to pull you away from the chair. Actually, it's not that hard to rescue against a Night Watch, but what makes it difficult is when the hunter is a proxy camper. Because if you get spotted as you're making your way to the chair and got hit while you're still far away, you're not going to make that rescue unless you have something that can help you transition to the chair. So I advise you to walk around obstacles to avoid getting found or hit before reaching the chair. I hope this video has helped you somehow. If you're new to my channel, I have other guide videos you can watch. I like to share my kites and some knowledge to help other players. Anyway, good luck with your matches. I hope to see you again soon.